And welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Beta Geek. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak.
What's up?
And oh no, he's not here.
Oh, poor baby.
No, Bebo. No, Bebo.
Bebo.
He's feeling under the weather.
Oh, poor baby.
We wish him a speedy recovery. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Today we will be reviewing the classic.
Maybe not so classic.
The classic skateboarding movie Gleaming the Cube from 1989. Mikey the Freak, why don't you tell us a little bit about this movie?
Yeah, so this one basically, Brian, who is played by Christian Slater, his adopted brother is killed when he's discovered that the shop that he works for is sending weapons to Vietnam instead of medications. So to the police, it looks like suicide, but Brian knows better. He knows his brother wouldn't do that. So he takes it into his own hands and tries to figure out what's going on and try to investigate the murder himself. So I'd say that's pretty much it in a nutshell. There's a lot of I thought was kind of weird in it that his brother is dating this Vietnamese girl from their school, and they're very. I mean, this is the late '80s, so there's a lot of it's not racism, but more discrimination. Like, and I would say it's more culture. Yeah. Like you cannot date it's more of culture. I'd say.
Yeah, it was a cultural thing.
Yeah, so she can't date any white guys. It has to be Vietnamese people from their own background.
American boys. No American boys.
No, yeah. So very bad Vietnamese accent. But it was very
probably very racist. Apologies for
apologies for anyone that watches this. So I thought that was interesting. And towards the end of kind of the end of the movie, like he's like creeping in on his girl.
Yeah,
and
I was going to mention that too. Like the moral of the story is, it's okay to date your dead brother's girlfriend.
Yeah, like he's not around anymore. So yeah, why can't we hook up? You're a hot Vietnamese woman and or girl, and I'm gonna have you get to know me. So I thought the transition was pretty cool because he's not very respected as he's a skateboarding punk kid, right?
Yeah.
Back in the late '90s. A lot of I was a skateboarder in the late '80s, early '90s. So I'm like 10 years old when I'm skateboarding.
I tried it. I tried it.
Yeah,
but
no, it didn't work.
I was too fat. Couldn't move on the skateboard.
Didn't work. He stepped on it and broke it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Not that big. Not that.
It was not. You might have broken a skateboard. No, maybe it wasn't you.
It was not me.
But yeah. But anyway, they weren't very well respected. They dress, crazy, and they had all the skateboarding shirts like the Thrasher and Tony Hawk and all those kind of skateboarding
almost grunge
apparel.
It was very almost grunge, yeah.
And I think it was still around the time frame where we talk about Nirvana and they invented grunge, and that was early '90s, late '80s, early '90s.
It was punk rock meets grunge is basically the style of skateboarder. Yeah. You got the gloves, you got the t-shirt with a freaking button up over it to flow in the wind, and you got your,
oh yeah, I did it. Yeah, we did it. We dressed like that.
You got your cargo pants, that are 2 sizes too big, so they're kind of really loose.
Before chinos showed up. But yeah, so and he's not very respected.
Gotta have the one earring.
Gotta have the one, and it has to be in your left ear.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't get it.
Could be on your right.
Whatever. It don't matter. Whatever you prefer. So so he's not very respected as a person. He's very good at his skateboarding, but it's when his brother dies and he wants to investigate and the police aren't taking him seriously, he has to change in order for them to take him seriously and he can get deeper involved in the investigation with the video store, and to figure out what's going on.
Okay, before you get going any further, I thought it was hilarious that he changed. Yeah, he cut his hair and styled his hair more normal, and he ditched the skateboarder clothes. But when he got to his non-skateboarder clothes, everything was tucked away, folded real nicely in the drawers underneath all of his other clothes that were just thrown in. I thought that was freaking hilarious. It was a good little detail. Good little detail.
So as soon as he's throwing all his clothes out of his drawer, they're like sitting perfectly underneath. Like he hasn't touched them in years. Like they're just perfectly folded. Like, okay, I'll wear these now. Yeah, that was a pretty fun little detail. But it was the movie, like when he becomes that different person basically, and he changes, people start to respect him a little bit more because he wants to be serious. He wants his family to appreciate him because he wanted to be more like his brother, because his parents loved his adopted brother and could care less on who he was and about, because he didn't take anything seriously. He was a punk.
He was a punk kid. No, honestly, let's face it. You don't really give any credit to punk kids, opinions, because they're freaking a little punk ass kid. So I mean,
punk ass kid. That's all that matters.
I'm not gonna freaking ass kid. Oh, okay. You think you just want to go out skateboard and stuff instead of get a job or do anything productive? Then you know what? Yeah, whatever. Go do what you want.
And it was funny, the funny scene where he traded his skateboard in for a bicycle, and he's pumping up the tires, and his dad runs into the back of the garage. He's like, "The hell!" And wham! So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, skateboarding when I was younger, it was hot back in the late '80s. I would think movies were big with there was several genres that it was an '80s movie. Skateboarding is one. Breaking or break dancing is another. And bicycling, so BMX bicycles, and stunts, that kind of stuff, is another one. So those were huge, late '80s, early '90s, and I just don't understand. Oh, sorry, I got some in my eye. I don't understand why.
Like a finger.
It was, yeah. No, couldn't get it out. And I had to change it to the other finger just to be different. So I don't understand. I just don't understand why, other than it just became a popularity. I mean, I think that's really all it was. It was just popular sports and
back then
activities and things to do. And
we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have computers.
Yeah, that's true.
We actually went outside and guess what? Played.
We did skateboarding and breakdancing.
Well, I didn't do anything.
And rode bicycles.
Breakdancing, but we played outside.
No,
we rode our bikes. We rode skateboards. That was the cell phone back in the day. It wasn't a tracking device. You rode around until you found all the bikes in somebody's yard. That's where everybody's at.
It was the street lamp, they say. When the street lamp comes on, it's time to go home.
That's right.
That's what it was.
You could be anywhere in the city too. Like our parents didn't care. They didn't care where we were. I would just leave the house and go wherever I wanted, as long as I'm home by the time that street.
Exactly. Yeah. So talking about the fun aspects of it. I enjoyed. I wasn't very. Let's put it this way. I was 11 years old. I wasn't very good at skateboarding. I could do some tricks here and there. I couldn't ride the 12-foot half pipe that everyone wanted to ride. I wasn't in empty swimming pools. There was no way in hell you would catch me skateboarding and dropping in on a swimming pool.
We didn't know anybody who had an empty swimming pool.
Exactly. And you wasn't dropping in on an above ground pool because it would hurt.
Yeah. That's straight down.
Yeah, exactly. So so I thought that was kind of funny, and you see a young Christian Guerrero, that he's also a professional skateboarder, a young Tony Hawk.
Super young Tony Hawk
just got into the business probably a few years, I would think.
Maybe he was old enough to have his own sticker in the movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they put his sticker on the roof of the airplane at the beginning of the movie,
when they're
and I'm
scouting.
like, oh, that's his sticker. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, for context, they were in the airplane scouting locations that had empty pools so they could skateboard. Yeah, but it's funny because Tony Hawk was in this movie. He didn't do much skateboarding. He drove a freaking pizza truck.
He was a Pizza Hut delivery driver. And literally hardly any skateboarding at all, other than the pool. I think he skated the pool at the beginning.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it was fun back then. You couldn't. I mean, I'm 40 plus now. There's no way in hell you'd catch me on a skateboard and do what I could do without.
I'm 39
without
plus
killing my 39 plus tag, 39.99 plus tag. I love it. I'll take it. But it's yeah. I mean it definitely was interesting plot. When they discovered that they were running guns instead of medical supplies to Vietnam, his brother figured it out. Well, I didn't say he figured it out. He was on the verge of figuring out because he knew that the weight for medical supplies was way too heavy for what they were sending. Cotton balls don't weigh 6,000 pounds. They just don't. So no matter how many cotton balls you put on there. But it was when he tried to figure that out, and then they were trying to, they thought he worked for somebody else, and then it was an accident that they accidentally killed him. So it definitely was an accident. Mm-hmm. But it happened, and they tried to cover it up like a suicide. So it was interesting trying to have Brian Christian Slater's character try to figure that out, and going to the the medical supply place, and actually breaking open the container, the box, and seeing that, holy shit, it's a gun. So I know what's going on, but trying to convince the police, and the police didn't want anything to do with it. Yeah. So it was interesting on that part, and it was a good aspect. And who doesn't want to try to avenge someone's death when they know for a fact there's no way that he could have killed himself?
It wasn't that the police didn't want nothing to do with it; is they didn't have enough evidence. You did have that one buddy cop guy, the one that's gonna befriend the skater boy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm on your side. Your side, but give it a rest, because there's nothing we can do until we find hard evidence. Let us do the police work, and I
was once like you. Now look at me now.
And then they kind of have that towards the end. They had developed that it was almost like a father son or brother type bond, brotherly bond that
big brother type thing. Yeah.
So they had like that brotherly bond at the end of the movie, which I thought was kind of cool. But So Bearded Geek, so tell me what your aspects of some of the movie as we've been talking.
I think I've kind of been giving them along with you. So
kind of.
But it's
didn't know if you had anything else to add from what we were talking about.
It was it was shot, just like an 80s movie. It's not, the cinematography wasn't freaking spectacular. It was a low budget 80s skateboarder movie.
Oh, hey, let me touch on that real quick too. I have to laugh at every single time that Christian Slater, when they don't have, it's the stereotypical movie to where he didn't do any of his stunts, and you can tell it is not Christian Slater.
You can definitely tell. It was
a wig on this person. It wasn't a spiked hair. It was a wig.
Yeah, he was doing a bunch of tricks in like a garage with the light in the background, so all you really see is almost like a silhouette. So you couldn't see his face, and he's doing all these kicks and flips and ollies and
which are pretty badass, by the way. That was pretty badass.
It was.
How they did it.
All you see Christians when it's close ups of Christian Slater, all he's doing is this.
Yeah. Like trying to woo. Like, what the fuck? What is he doing? It's like, bro, that is not you at all.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because every time throughout the entire movie, when he's downhill skateboarding, when he's dropping in to try to save his girlfriend at the time when she's being held by gunpoint, and then they shoot the the father.
Yeah.
You can tell that's not him. Yeah, every single scene that sees him on a skateboard
You
is
can
not
tell
him.
it's not.
So,
It was stunt double. Stunt double
yeah,
city.
they should. I think they should have done a better job at that.
Yeah, they could have had
I'll leave
better
that.
camera angles and stuff like that. Like I
Yeah.
said, low budget, 80s skateboarder movie. For the time, I think it was pretty good. You know, it was actually not as. This was my first time seeing this movie. I had never even heard of this freaking movie until it was brought up to review. So it actually kept my interest, and I think it was more of the murder mystery than anything else. Because it just wasn't about skateboarding. A lot of times when you have a BMX or skateboarder movie or breakdancer movie, there's like a competition that they're trying to get to or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
This was a murder mystery, and so it gave a different aspect to the movie. So it kept me in it more than I think a competition type movie would have done.
Yeah, and you kind of assume at the beginning when they're rolling the opening credits that you see all the skateboarders coming up that long shot of them coming into frame.
Yeah.
That was probably a little longer than it should have been, but you're like, okay, this is a skateboarding movie.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing you thought, and then when they start to get into the plot of the guns to Vietnam and the medical supplies and that kind of cover up scheme, then you kind of lose the skateboarding atmosphere. You don't really see it much other than bits and pieces throughout the rest of the movie.
Which helped it. It helped it.
Yeah,
I think it
absolutely.
helped it a lot. So let's go ahead and give our ratings, Mikey the Freak.
Yeah,
this
sure.
was your movie, so go ahead and give us your rating.
Yeah, I mean, this brings back a lot of memories. I had the same type skateboard. This is when skateboarding, the actual skateboards when they came out just had the point, or they were like rounded in the front.
Yeah.
They really didn't have. I think a little bit after that, probably a couple of years. I think it started to where the front and the nose artist started to go up, where the front and the back started to look exactly the same. So they came out around the same time frame, but I never saw anybody with that type of skateboard in this movie. It was always the rounded ones.
Right.
And I always wanted that skateboard at the end. I wanted the jet black skateboard with the chrome rails and the chrome heel plate, the chrome nose guard. It had like the chrome grip on the top. It had the black wheels with the chrome gull wing trucks. So it's one of those where like, man, I'm 10 years old when I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, oh, I want those. I never got those, but because they were very expensive at that time.
Right.
I think that the trucks itself were like $60. So, and you needed two,
and that was back then.
And that was back then.
That was back then.
And they really didn't come in pairs.
Right.
So you're paying $120 for nice parts for a freaking skateboard that you can beat the shit out of. So it's that brought back the nostalgia. The movie, I liked the movie back then. It's hard to recommend the movie now unless someone likes skateboarding. It is a decent movie, but the acting, Christian Slater, there's a lot of movies he's been in to where a lot of his acting is dead identical. And that's just the way he is and has been. But, not a huge cast of celebrities when it comes into this in the late 80s. But again, I'm going to have to go with a 6 just because of, I mean, I did like the murder mystery that we talked about. I did like the skateboarding atmosphere, what there was of it. But yeah, I mean, the acting wasn't great. It definitely looked like it was low budget. They could have done the camera angles better when they did the stunt double with the skateboarding. I mean, shit, it was probably Tony Hawk dressed up in a wig doing all the skateboarding.
That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me at all. I didn't look and see who his stunt double was, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if it was Tony Hawk that he's a little bit taller, but you put him in a wig and baggy clothes
and shoot it from a distance. Yeah,
and shoot it from a distance, you're not going to know the difference.
Yeah. All you need is Christian Slater, don't
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm going with the solid 6. But yeah, so Bearded Geek, what do you think?
I'm right there with you. 6 sounds about right. I would recommend this movie to people who like a good, this was actually just a good movie. It wasn't a good skateboarder movie. It wasn't a good murder mystery, but it was just a decent run of the mill, kind of middle of the road movie. Not good, not bad. But it's something I would recommend to somebody to put on a Sunday afternoon or something like that. Just a lounge out, kick back and relax. It actually held my attention more than I thought it was going to. I thought I'm like, oh my god. I mean, Gleaming the Cube was not even. I don't even know what that means. It wasn't even.
Either. I was bringing that up too. I have no clue what the meaning means.
Yeah, it wasn't mentioned in the movie. I don't know what the hell it means, but okay. I was expecting a Gleaming the Cube reference in the movie. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what it means, but it's a decent movie. I suggest I suggest you guys, the viewers, check it out. Why not? It's a good movie.
Yeah.
6, middle of the road. Do you have Bebo's
Yeah, so let me I apologize. Let me pull this up real quick. And I'll read it what he sent us. All right. So what Bebo states is his thoughts were it was a typical 80s skateboard movie. Storyline was basic. Man, that was rough. The acting wasn't great, but typical for this movie.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the same line of the road with us. Like the skateboarding moments in it, even the last one, which was far-fetched. Yeah, I'm not going 120 mile an hour holding on to a
That's true.
A Corvette. Because look, guys, they got this from Back to the Future. Holding on. Look, they got this from Back to the Future. It has to be no ifs, ands, or buts. They did it in 1985 with Back to the Future. They're going to do it now.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, and there's no way in hell that the guy's going to be on a Corvette going 100 easily 100 plus mile an hour on the freaking interstate, and then go underneath a semi to catch up to another car.
Yeah, which was a cool shot. I'll give it that. That was a really cool shot.
I agree. That was a great shot. But no, that's not going to fucking happen. So Tony Hawk in it. He said it was funny seeing a young Tony Hawk. Kind of what we were saying. The rating that he would say would be a 6.5. Okay, and he gives the extra 0.5 was boost for nostalgia. So technically he was at a 6 as well.
6 with us and the 0.5, yeah.
Yeah.
And no boob bump. Of course, no boob bump.
No boob bump on this one. Yeah. So what you got?
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, we do not have any movie trivia because Bebo is sick. Poor little Bebo. Get better, Bebo.
Oh, baby.
We do not have any movie memorabilia because this movie was it was Gleaming the Cube. There's no movie memorabilia.
No, unless you want to buy a freaking skateboard. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
We do have some related reels, Mikey the Freak.
Like always, absolutely.
A little bit about some related reels.
So I'm going to start with Charles Cyphers. I love this guy. I have to start with him. He's Lucero's other detective that is with him in the precinct, and he's actually been in Halloween Kills. So he does have a recurring role in Halloween, the original from 1978.
But what do we know him from the best?
Well, the other one I wanted to say, he did do a lot of episodes in the original Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay.
So check out Dukes of Hazzard. I love that show, even though a lot of it's all racist and what people think. It's not, whatever.
It don't hold up, but it's still fun.
It don't hold up anymore, but it is a very
it's
good
like Blazing
show.
Saddles. Not as bad as Blazing Saddles, It's
No, it's definitely not as bad as Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles pushed the envelope way too much.
Yeah.
But the movie that we loved him in, that we've done a podcast on already for, is Major League, which is one of our very first podcasts that we performed and done for you guys. He was the assistant, he was the assistant GM, assistant general manager for the Cleveland Indians. Funny as hell in Major League. But yeah, so the next one is Ed Lauder. He's been in a lot of small. He played Brian's dad, so Christian Slater's dad in the movie. You'll see him from movies like he's been in Cujo. He has been in The Rocketeer, which is another podcast that we did a while back. And also in Not Another Teen Movie. So he's the one that he's the head coach of the football team. So he does John Voight's character from Varsity Blues, the parody one. So he's actually funny as hell. Not Another Teen Movie. You've got to check out Not Another Teen Movie. Probably one of the best spoofs, other than Scary Movie, that I've. No, spoofs.
Hey, Spaceballs is a spoof movie.
I get it. Yes, but a great movie. And then our main character, our main actor, Christian Slater. He's been in tons of movies from the '80s on. Tons. The ones that I've liked him in is Heathers with Winona Ryder. Great movie to watch. The Legend of Billie Jean, another 80s flick with Helen Slater, no relation. But and Yeardley Smith, which is the voice of Lisa Simpson in The Simpsons. So she's in Legend of Billie Jean. So that's a good one.
She's not my lover.
Huh?
She's not my lover.
No. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is another good one. Kevin Costner. He was Will Scarlet in that one. And then I have Broken Arrow with John Travolta. So he's done a lot of good movies back, like early 90s, mid 90s. Even Young Guns 2. We talked about that one as well. Young Guns 2, great one. But the biggest one that a lot of people know him from recently is Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot,
which is a show. I have never seen Mr. Robot. I know about it, but I have never seen it personally.
It was really popular on the USA Network.
Yeah, I heard that. So that's all I've got for related reels.
Awesome. All right, guys. As we come to a close, remember we are doing a giveaway. Check out the Jurassic Park movie review to see how to enter the giveaway. Do all the YouTuber things. Give us a like, comment, tell us, give us a thumbin'. Give us a thumbin'. Yes. Leave a comment. Tell us
a like,
a like,
a thumbin', and a like.
Yes, because we like a thumbin'.
We love a thumbin'.
Make sure you leave a comment. Tell us if you've seen Gleaming the Cube. Tell us what you thought of it. If you haven't seen it, and this inspires you to go see it, tell us what you thought after you've seen it.
Yeah. Tell us what your favorite part is. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, guys. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek. And for Mikey the Freak and Bebo. Keep it retro, everybody.
All right, Bebo. See ya. Peace.